Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we gonna present about 5 method of curing concrete that will be presented by Muhammad Saifrafni bin Nasri Jamil, that is myself, and Nur Izian Shazhanis binti Rusli. Curing is the process of maintaining and satisfactory temperature and moisture condition in concrete for a period long enough for hydration to develop the concrete properties, which is increase its strength and durability. There are several methods used in curing concrete. One of it is membrane curing. This method is a method that prevents the loss of mixing water from the concrete surface. Other than that, this method covers the wetted concrete surface with a layer of waterproof material which is kept in contact with the concrete surface for 7 days. The membrane will prevent the evaporation of water from the concrete. Membrane can be either solid or liquid. It is also known as a sealing compound. Bituminous waterproofing paper, wax emulsion, bitumen emulsion, and plastic film are commonly used membrane types. Therefore, concrete membrane curing can be done in several types. The first, wet covering or moist curing concrete method. In the moist curing concrete method, water absorbent fabric is used to retain moisture on the concrete surface by completely covering the surface once the concrete had hardened sufficiently. And the second type of concrete membrane curing is plastic sheeting. Concrete can be covered effectively by using plastic sheeting so that it blocks the evaporation of water from the concrete. Curing concrete with the plastic sheets after a shorter water cure of 1 or 2 days is sometimes beneficial. Plastic sheet made of polyethylene film is an effective moisture barrier, lightweight, and can be used on horizontal and vertical surfaces as well as on surfaces of various shapes and sizes. Concrete curing compounds is the last type of concrete membrane curing. Concrete curing compound form a thin liquid membrane on the concrete surface and the result in the prevention of the evaporation loss to a certain extent. Generally, it can be found in two types, which are clear or translucent and white pigmented. Water curing is one of the methods of curing concrete. The water is applied to prevent the surface of the concrete from drying. Typically, this process is utilized when the concrete is less dense. This approach can be used, for instance, to cure the floor slab in building construction. There are two different ways to add water to concrete. To begin with, pondering and concrete. Besides, employ sprinklers to continuously distribute water. When pondering concrete, the procedure involves continuously soaking the surface of concrete without allowing it to dry. Typically, a curb cast around the slab assists in ponding the appropriate area. This method is especially effective in arid setting because it is not necessary to continuously pour water using this procedure. All flat surfaces such as road, pavement, slabs, and footpaths can simply cured. Aside from that, to employ sprinklers, the concrete surface must not get dry due to evaporate. Continuously spraying of water at steady velocity and in a uniform manner is required to proper curing. For this aim, sprinkler with proper spacing will be used. Next is electrical curing. The electric curing of concrete is done by employing the heat generated from the alternating current to raise the temperature of maturing concrete. The concrete is heated with AC until it reaches 90 degrees Celsius because any higher temperature causes water to turn into steam, which can damage the concrete. The hydration reaction of maturing concrete are thermally accelerated by this heat. The most common method of electrical curing is to connect electrode plate of or a network of electrode plate to the faces of the concrete member and apply an AC voltage of 30 volt or 60 volt for a maximum of 3 days. Even if the best circumstance, longer curing time have been shown to be uneconomical. In comparison to method 1, a higher magnitude and lower voltage AC is passed only through the steel reinforcement in the concrete. The result in a slow but consistent and uniform heat distribution. Large electric pads, similar to shuttering, surround the concrete. Only the pads are heated as current is passed through them, and the heat in turn uniformly heat the concrete. Although it is an impressive concrete curing technique, it is rarely used because it is generally uneconomical. It is only used in cold climates where the concrete is prone to freeze and thawing within the first week of installation. In addition, natural curing is difficult in cold weather. The technique was actually invented in Sweden. Another application is where cost is unimportant but time is critical, perhaps in larger projects and real estate.
Now I will explain about sheet curing method. So, sheet curing method is a method of wet curing concrete in which the freshly placed concrete is covered with a material such as burlap and plastic. It is to keep the moist during early stages of the curing process. The purpose of sheet curing is to ensure that the concrete reaches its maximum strength and durability by providing the ideal conditions for the hydration process to occur. The process of sheet curing begins immediately after the concrete is placed and finished. The surface of the concrete is to cover with a curing compound such as burlap or plastic sheet to prevent water from evaporating from the surface. Next, the sheets are then secured in place with stakes or other means to ensure that they remain in contact with the concrete at all times. One of the key benefits of sheet curing is that it allows for a more consistent curing environment. By covering the concrete, the curing compound helps to maintain a constant temperature and humidity level, which is ideal for the hydration process that helps to minimize the risk of cracking and other issues that can occur due to uneven curing. In summary, sheet curing is an important step in the concrete curing process that helps to ensure that the concrete reaches its maximum strength and durability. By keeping the concrete moist through the use of a curing compound such as burlap or plastic, the sheet curing helps to promote a more consistent curing environment and prevent surface cracking. It is an essential step in the construction process that should not be overlooked. Now I will explain about the use of formwork in construction. So, the formwork in construction is the most efficient use of any curing agent. This method is utilized most frequently in the production of thick concrete that has a high hydration temperature. During the process known as formwork curing, concrete is shielded from the influence of external factors while it hardens. In many cases, this ensures covering the formworks with plastic sheets and ensuring that the temperature and humidity levels are kept at the appropriate levels for the concrete to cure. Plastic sheeting helps to protect the concrete from temperature shift while also ensuring that it remains properly hydrated when formwork curing is utilized. This is accomplished by covering the concrete with the sheeting. Additionally, it prevents the formation of continuous and periodic, also known as subbloom, on the surface of the cured concrete. The purpose of formwork curing is to help to ensure that the concrete achieves the desired strength and other properties. Because it helps to speed up the curing process, formwork curing can also help to cut down on the amount of time needed for construction projects. In addition, it may be of assistance in preserving the constant quality of the concrete, which may be essential for a variety of applications. Curing the formwork helps to ensure that the formwork will be retained for the amount of time that was specified, which allows for another purpose of formwork curing. It also helps in controlling the overall shape of the concrete, and also It can help to cut down on the amount of waste materials produced and make the process of removing the formworks from the finished product easier.